Hello everyone, it's day 3 of Get Off Your Phone Challenge. Get off your phone. We're not really shutting the phone down, we're just using our phone in a way that works for us. So now I want to get, now that we did the first couple days, I'm gonna get more into the feeling part of using our phone because we can use our phone a lot for when we feel a certain way, when we're trying to avoid feeling bad feelings, but also when we want to feel good feelings. So it's very strange because we go on apps to feel better and then they end up making us feel worse about ourselves. So it's like there's some trigger that makes us feel bad, so then we open an app thinking it's going to make us feel better about ourselves, and it does for like 5 seconds maybe, depending on the thing you see on the app, and then it just starts making us feel worse about ourselves. So really it's like a double-edged sword. Like, apps are not really that useful, especially when we use them like against ourselves like that, in that buffering kind of way. It's like when you're like, I need to feel better, I want to eat like a bunch of chocolate or something. Like, it's gonna feel good to eat chocolate or whatever thing you want to eat, but later it's gonna give you a stomach ache. Like, that's the same thing that happens with apps. So I want to take like those feelings that we have and kind of also take the judgment out of our using our phones, because I know there's like a lot of people who can judge us for using, or actually we just judge ourselves for using our phones too much, but also other people around us may say it also if they think we're using it too much. But no, I'm just thinking about the judgment we put on ourselves. Like, I'm using my phone too much, I'm on social media too much, I don't look like that person on social media, I'm never gonna have a house that looks like that, I'm never gonna blah 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 blah, all these things that like just we judge ourselves because of things we see on social media, and then we go like open the shopping app, or we go open whatever else, like to make ourselves feel better. We go try to buffer by buying things or looking at things or playing a game, but really it's just like elongating these feelings we have of like inadequacy and insecurity about ourselves, when really we need to take those feelings and change the way we think about ourselves. Like, I don't have a giant house, and that's okay. Like, we don't have to have the things that we see on Instagram. I'm thinking Instagram mainly. Or like, I don't have the beach body, like, and that makes me a terrible person. Like, when you think these things, you might not even be aware that you're thinking them when you look at these apps and you scroll through it and you're like, oh, I wish I could look like that, I wish I could have that, all these things. That disempowers us from even getting those things, and it also distracts us from like, why do we even want those things, and why do we want those things in the first place? Is it because we're just seeing them over and over on different apps, and TV shows and things like that, and media, not just social media, all media can kind of pit us like, I want to look like the actress, or I want to be famous, or I want to be rich, or I want to have all the things because their life looks a lot better than mine. Where it's like, your life is good the way it is, and we need to see that for what our life is now. We don't need all those things to feel happy. And I know this is just like a preaching day, but really that's like why we use our phones, is because we feel some kind of inadequacy, or like we don't belong or something like that, or we're feeling and so we go to these apps to try to feel like more secure and more loved and more like we belong in the world and with other people. And it's like, if we only post more, if we only take more selfies, then we'll feel better. But it never works. If we get more likes, we'll feel better about ourselves, but that doesn't actually happen. So like, we just need to change our thinking if we're comparing ourselves and judging ourselves that way. You just need to like become more secure. So like if you judge yourself and like, I'll never have that thing that I want, and then you start to feel a feeling, which is probably sad or dejected or something, and then you act in a certain way that like will make that come true, so like make that happen for you. So if we just change it, like, I'm okay the way I am, I don't need all these fancy things to live a great life. If we just like change the way that we think about ourselves, stop judging ourselves for the things we don't have or the place we're not at, because it might not always be better in that situation. We tend to be like, grass is always greener, but it might not be, you know, who knows? You probably still will feel inadequate even if you got all those things because of the way you're thinking about yourself. So becoming aware of those thoughts about yourself, and I want you to write these down too, and this is a little harder, but like writing down the thoughts that you have when you see certain things or when you're trying to shop for things, like, I need to buy this thing to blank, make my life better, to be happy. Like, no, you don't. Just, you know, you can be happy without that thing. So it's just a matter of changing the way we think about ourselves in order to feel better, and questioning the things that our brain tells us right now, like that we need a certain thing to feel good about ourselves. You don't. So just like notice those thoughts and then talk back to them and be like, no, I'm okay the way I am. Sorry, something in my throat. And that, so yeah, just become aware of the thoughts that you're thinking about yourself and why you're going to these apps in order to feel better and to feel, or to shop in order to feel better about yourself. You don't need any of that. And if you spend less time on social media and on media in general, like watching media in general, you can kind of start to feel like more yourself and more okay with yourself, and you stop comparing yourself to all the people you see around you. So get a little distance from that to start to like come into loving who you are right now. So that's, just become aware of those thoughts about yourself.